thing to come. You are live. We are live here at Circle Leadership Studio in Perth, West Australia, streaming all around the world and directly to, where are you, Emerald?
Central Queensland in the
Central
outback.
Queensland.
On a Tuesday. On a
Hey,
Tuesday. A little
on
bit
a
different.
Tuesday, not a Thursday. On a Tuesday. You got to say it like a Queenslander.
Tuesday.
On a
Yeah,
Tuesday.
in the country again.
So-
Got to get that draw back.
So this is
Right.
going to be a very special live stream. Very special. Actually, we're going to be a whole new series of live streams coming out as well as our usual. So today I actually have the extreme pleasure, I'm going to call it an extreme pleasure,
Is that what that is?
of interviewing our head humicorn, our head leadership coach, our head and heart leadership coach, Lisa U. Ferguson. That's Lisa U. Ferguson. Today, because we have a massive event coming up on August 24th to 26th on the Gold Coast. And what we thought would be really, really good is to interview the team. I'm going to interview the team, so starting today with you, on what you're going to be sharing with people at the event. So August 24th to 26th on the Gold Coast. So it's going to be a big, massive 3-day event, one of the biggest business evolution summits ever run by Circle Leadership. So it'll be really cool to interview you guys and share with everybody what you're going to bring to the table and some things people can expect and some things they might not expect. So
I feel like by now people have come to expect the unexpected with me. I know my poor mother has, but anyway, love you, Mum.
So with this, and we titled this one basically thinking, being the richest person in the graveyard, and like, don't be that person, don't be that guy or that gal. And it's really important because one of the things that we talk a lot about is this whole thing about a lot of our clients have all the toys and everything, but none of the time, and the relationships and health and all this stuff can all be under challenge as a sacrifice for making the business succeed. So this is a lot of the space that you play in, is helping people not only at heart and mind and body aspect of that. So I want to start grilling you with a bunch of questions.
Grill away.
So what is the biggest challenge that you notice right now in business people's health, their health and well-being from a business perspective?
I love to live by the notion, and this hasn't always been true for me. Is it possible that we can be successful in business and be fit, healthy, and strong for a lifetime? And what I'm seeing a lot now in businesses is that there's this belief that being fit, healthy, and strong in your body has to be hard work, and take a long time. And so when we're in the hustle, when we're in the business building mode, we think, well, we need to put everything into that. We need to, if we're not spending every hour and every ounce of energy into building our business in order to leave our legacy and serve people at a greater level, all of that kind of stuff, we're not committed. We're not all in on our business. And there's like this hustle culture going on. And so the biggest challenge that I see in businesses and business owners, and it's almost like not that we, like at Circle Leadership, we work on a circle model of leadership rather than a hierarchical, but a lot of businesses and people that we're helping transition to a more round table type of being is because the higher up the hierarchy that we go, the more money people are making and the more successful people seem on paper in business, the unhealthier, the unhappier, and the more intense in their brain and the reduced capacity they have to actually live a happy, healthy life. And we forget, why are we doing this? Why are we here? And just we suddenly find ourselves feeling like crap, looking like crap, and not able to show up and serve in the capacity for the people that we started in the first place because we're too busy trying to serve the people that we wanted to help in the first place, but now we can't. It's this weird ass paradox. So that's one of the biggest things I'm noticing in business at the moment.
Yeah, and I like what you said there. So most people think, especially as a business person myself, and that it's too hard. I like, for the things I'd need to do, it's just too much. So I'd rather just not do it at all. And I love that you mentioned about the hustle culture, because there's this, when people see Gary Vaynerchuk running all around the world, and they think he might sleep 2 to 4 hours a night, and that's I was always told growing up is if you want to be more productive, sleep one less hour. So like what? Okay, then I sleep 6 hours, then I sleep 5 hours, and then might as well just stay awake, and then I'll get enough sleep when I'm dead. So I think that's really important for people out there, and I think a lot of that will resonate with a lot of people, that there's perception about that it's hard, there's hustle, lack of sleep, all this sort of stuff. So it's easier just to do the stuff in my business, and maybe if I just put a pedometer on my hip and walk around, I'll do enough fitness to be fine.
No, it's not 1998. You get one of these grand angle things, and it does all the hard work.
Sorry.
Jeez, get with the program.
Yeah.
What is it? So business.
So steady, progressive increase of your capabilities, and don't judge your evolution to mine.
You're steady, all right. You are steady.
Okay. So I wanted just to start with that, but what I want to do is take a step back now and go, why you? Can you tell us give us your 5-minute story about your journey? Is it because you're a successful business person in your own right? So I won't steal too much of your thunder in that space. But give us your successful business journey and how that impacted your health and your well-being, and then why you do the work you do, because you're speaking from experience, and I think that's really important. One of our core values we have is wisdom, which is learned from experience. So and I'd love you to share that with people, because you can relate to them at the personal level as a business owner, business person who understands what they're going through. You're not just some fitness junkie who's been doing fitness their whole life and going, "Oh, you crazy business person, why aren't you working out?"
Yep. And
so.
Thank you for the invitation to share about my journey. And every time that I do share in this space now, I still kind of look back and go, what a cluster. Honestly, what a cluster. And I was in so much judgment of myself for a long time, massive imposter syndrome, and you'll understand why in a sec. But suddenly, as we continue to evolve through this space, and as I've shown up in the world the way I get to now, it all makes sense. And there's this great quote that I love to live by. So often, not knowing what you're doing has nothing to do with where you're going. And there was times in the past when I was running successful businesses and organizations, whether I was owning them, manage them, being an entrepreneur, an intrapreneur, at a leadership level. It also comes with being a firstborn. I kind of have a natural affinity to take on leadership. I will throw myself and go all in for the cause, that problem that I was just talking about. And the reason that I can see it, and it takes one to know one, is because I've lived it and I've been it. And this is why I have such a compassionate heart and for people in business that are struggling in their meat suits, which we can talk about that. But if we're struggling in our body, if we have a reduced capacity to be healthy, fit, and strong in our body, how can we show up for our people? The reason why I have such a compassionate heart for people in that space is because I was a fitness business owner. I owned a commercial gyms, a number of them. I had, I would say a small to medium-sized business in that particular state period of time. I since went on to form part of a management team that, and it was a management team that led and inspired almost 200 people with a much bigger budget and capturing a wider market. But if we go back to where I started in the health and fitness profession because I had a personal trainer who saw me and who helped me get fit, healthy, and strong in my body when I was 110 kilos and 19 years old. There's a photo of me that floats around on the airwaves at 19 and I look about 40. And now at 34, I look 20 years younger than what I did in that photo. It's actually quite remarkable. And so I thought, how amazing is this? I feel the best I've ever felt in my body. I was in a corporate job that I hated. I was trading time for money. I was earning the dollars from the job that I hated. That was probably the thing that was making me sick in the first place because I hated what I was doing. So I was just smashing chocolate bars every chance I could to get some sweetness in my life. So here's me getting a job that was the thing that was making me feel crap, which was the thing that was making me feel fat because it was the thing that was driving that crappy behavior to make me feel better about myself, to earn the money, to pay the PT, to do the thing to make me feel better. It was weird, right? And so I was able to transform and overcome that. And I know we're taking the scenic route here, but I feel like it's relevant.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what? I've had a result. I want to add value in this space. I feel the best I've ever felt, and I want other people to feel as good as me. How do I get to do that? Studied, up-leveled, lived, learned, was able to take my experience and channel it into a business opportunity that was able to help more people feel fit, healthy, and strong in their body for a lifetime. So I bought a gym, had a gym opportunity, and went in. It was amazing. It was super successful. We increased revenue by 900% in the first 6 months. We're in the top 10 business gyms in Australia in 2015. I was I was nominated as Telstra Business Person of the Year in 2015. I was a finalist and winner of Young Business Person of the Year, which was an award for 24 to 30-year-olds doing successful business. I owned 2 gyms, had 25 to 30 people working for me. Gyms, health places where people go to feel good. And within 6 months of buying my first gym, I put on 30 kilos.
Wow.
I had a gym. I owned a gym. I spent 16 hours a day in a gym. I had 6 personal trainers that could help move me. I had access to supplements. I'd done my Cert 3-4 and fitness diploma about 3 times by then. I was lecturing people. I was still helping people be fit, healthy, and strong in their body. Yet here was me.
Yeah.
Feeling absolutely horrendous. I was anxious. I was probably depressed. I was still soothing with food. I had all of the resources available to me. But as a business owner and as an entrepreneur and as someone trying to have a go in the health and fitness profession, I was the exact opposite. And we talk a lot about being a product of our product. And so here's me with all of the skills, all of the resources, all of the tools, knowing exactly what I need to do and all of the capacity, to all of the opportunity to do that. And I still fell over. Why? Why do we do that? What is it about being in business that makes us think that suddenly we have to forego all of our health and all of everything to do with us? And for me, it was while I owned gyms. It's what I did for a living. What even is that? Anyway, so that's a little bit about my story. I can go on for that for ages, but this is what calls me now. This is why I have such a compassionate heart for people that are in business and are challenged in that space, is because, that's the one. See, even the one on the right, I'm not about the spray tan and the fake and the whatever, but it's a contrast, right? We're so grateful for the contrast. That's what we're talking about. Anyway, that's a little bit about that and why I'm serving in this space and have reverse engineered how now I get to be fit, healthy, and strong for a lifetime. It's not fad diet. And Dave has just traveled with me and we've spent a lot of time in each other's spaces. I eat cake for breakfast regularly because I love it. It's my greatest joy to do so. And is there a way that we can, and again, it's a proverbial thing, but if there's a way that we can still love and have the things that we enjoy that add value to our life, because delicious things are part of the epic human experience we get to have by virtue of being on this planet at this time, and be fit, healthy, and strong for a lifetime, and have a successful business, might that actually be cool? And how do we do that?
Yeah, and I think that's the real. And I noticed when we were traveling, we were speaking to a lot of our clients, and a lot of them have their opinions on health as business people, and it was really fascinating to see you squirm as they were sharing their perceptions on it. And there's some people who are just hardcore. It's all lean, this, no sugar, that, none of this, that, and I get it, and and not to judge what's right or wrong for people.
No.
But when you think about, and this is I think the challenges for business, which is why I love your perspective and your attitude, or more your approach to health and well-being and business, is because in business, I'll be happy when, so I'll sacrifice all this to then have that, right? And there's the old adage that we sacrifice our health to build our wealth, and then we take all our wealth to reclaim our health.
100%.
And we were talking to financial planners, and I was saying, how many we talk about reaching financial independence. There's pressure on people to reach financial independence. So it's no different to health as finance. And that means don't go on a holiday, don't buy the new car, don't buy the things, save all your money, put all the things there. And then when you get to this number, then you can buy all that cool stuff. Well, what if there was a way to have your cake and eat it too, but not in a way where all you eat is cake? All right. Yeah. So and I do appreciate having been on the road with you for the past week, that no matter what, you still balanced balanced, or your integration between your health and your well-being and the work and everything like that was very impressive. Like, even forced me to do some push-ups with the crew at my chest is still feeling the so we talked a little bit about the myths around having a successful business and being fit and healthy and strong for a lifetime. And thank you for sharing your story, because once again, it's so important for people to understand that this stuff that you're going to be sharing at the Business Evolution Summit on August 24th to 26th on the Gold Coast is not just stuff from a book. It's not because you're a hardcore PT. It's, you're a business person. You've experienced it. You've put on and lost 200 pounds over, things like that. You get it. You understand. And now you're in a space where you've worked out how to do both. Right? So what's the best thing to do right now then? What's the best thing? Like, give us a piece of advice. What's the best thing to do right now? Go have a piece of cake.
Breathe.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Breathe. We get to breathe. Quite often, and I've actually got a note written down here from the other day when we were at Adina Apartments with the ABSH crew. At exactly where you're at right now, the answer, what if the answer is not strategy? What if it's not the next way to lose weight? What if it's not the next fad? What if it's not the next supplement? What if it's actually nothing to do with strategy? What if where we're at right now is less to do with strategy and actually to do with spaciousness? And I talked a little bit about this yesterday, and you're going to see a bit more of this coming through. And certainly at the Business Evolution Summit, this has actually been one of the key things. If you have strategy and you have all of the capability, and this was the thing as well for me, when I was at the gym, I had all of the capability, all of the skill. I was a master trainer. I got some award. I don't even know why, some wanky letters after my name that no one actually cares about, because here's me not doing the thing anyway, because, people don't judge your intentions, they judge your actions, right? And clearly my actions were saying I've been smashing rum cans and pizza in the gym on a Friday night at 10 o'clock. And I was, when no one was looking. Integrity is what people do when no one is looking, right? So even though I had all of the resources available to me and all of the skills, I had no excuse. At that time, I had no capacity. I had so much capability, but I had no capacity because I was so dense and so full up to put another strategy or another thing to do on top of everything. Business is hard. Life is hard. Family is hard. There's so much shit to do. And then to think about, like to your point before, Dave, so I'm just going to sleep an hour less to go up and go for a run. I'm going to, what's the point of even starting? All I see is this extremism culture where you get wankers like me, put my abs out and, my spray tan and stuff. Can I just say as well, I've jumped out of airplanes. I've done all sorts of crazy shit in my life. That photo shoot was the most confronting thing that I've ever done in my life. And I absolutely am still not okay with it. It was really, really tough because that's just not really, what I get around. And so I've gone, okay, so what was it? What was it that actually got me from exactly where I am to be able to get some momentum? And it was around spaciousness. It's about being able to take a breath and just be where we are. We're so wanting just to launch ourselves out of pain, I don't want to be here, the instant gratification culture. This feels crap. I just want to do the thing. So we take extreme actions. We take either all of the action or none of the action, but then that's also getting us none of the results. So what if we could just breathe, create some space in our being and just be where we are for a sec and just be in acceptance? I'm not asking you to be okay. I'm not asking you to love where you are. In fact, I'm not asking you to stay there. But if I'm in central Queensland and you're in Perth, only way, and I want to be in Perth, the only way that I can actually effectively get to Perth is by first knowing where I am and being okay with that. If I wanted to get to Perth from Brisbane, but I'm in Emerald, doesn't matter how much I want to be in Brisbane, this is where I am. And we've got to be okay with that first and foremost. Then from where we are, because our power lies in the now, from exactly where we are, then we can take a first step. So all life begins and ends with the breath. So exactly what we can do now is we can breathe some life into exactly where we are and take a big breath in and out. And that is the first thing that we can do exactly where we're standing now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think, it's because all anxiety comes from the not being present where you are. You know, it's
Mm.
not, if you're not thinking about the future, it's not accepting or being present in the moment is
Mm.
where anxiety starts.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. So breathing is such a powerful thing for that. The other thing I thought was really cool that you talked about, and I made a note here, and you know, we sometimes talk about this when you think about the process for human behavior, is that diet is just a holiday away from bad eating habits.
Yeah.
Like, so these fad diets and things like that. There's a great comment coming through here from Peter Clark from Canada.
Mm.
Actually, Pete's an amazing human being over in Canada. He's got an
Yeah,
epic
it's
show
true.
actually that goes live on LinkedIn all the time as well. So, from my recent heart experiences, I can tell you that health is wealth, and you only appreciate what's taken away from you. I can understand everyone has something to be serious needs to happen.
Made
The
me
dog.
cry.
Yeah, well, you see, this is a funny thing because even myself, Pete, thank you for sharing that, and you can see the rest there. At 25 years old, I found out that I had a heart condition that I didn't know, and then I told my parents about it, and then they said, "Oh, you were born with that," and then they said the doctor said it wouldn't be an issue. Well, hey, bing, 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 guess what? Which is fine, and it's not like I don't like, oh, poor me. It's just I have but I learned that at 25.
Mm.
You know, and you know, people take action to gain a benefit or avoid a loss, but unfortunately, most of us wait till the loss is imminent before we start taking action on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. And thank you so much, Peter, for being willing to share that with everybody, because I'm sure that one message from you will inspire somebody today who's watching this live stream to do not wait till it gets to that stage. So really appreciate and value your contribution there, Pete. Thank you. So where's the best place to find help?
Is it possible? Question. And this is big, and I'm not going to get into this. I'm going to talk more about this at the Business Evolution Summit, but this is what I have to say about this. Is it possible that the best place to find a helping hand is at the end of your own arm?
Wow. Put that into context for us. Like I get it. How am I supposed to help myself?
Is it possible that the best place to find a helping hand is at the end of your own arm?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, when I was in the gym and I had all of the expertise, all of the knowledge, all of the resources, everything available to me, who's the only one that can do the thing? Who's the only one that can put and use the hand at your end, at the end of your own arm, to put the fork down and start lifting some things, start moving in different ways, stretch your arms away from your body as much as you can. Oh, but I have a sore back. Yeah, well, so do I. I smashed my back when I was 20. It was the reason I didn't play netball for any kind of representative anything. Is it possible that the best place to find a helping hand is at the end of your own arm? And that comes from a dear friend and mentor of mine, Rowan McAvoy. And I just want to shout out to her because she is so much of the reason why I get to serve in this space right now. And then certainly doing it in the container with you. I don't want to cry. Just so much appreciation, so much gratitude to be able to add value in this space by my journey being my gift to the world. And what I mean by the helping hand at the end of your own arm, at the end of the day, you're the only one that can do the thing. I will love to help you. I would love to tell you all of the information. I can give you all of the water. Bloody hell, I can throw the water at your face and say, drink this. But unless you actually drink the water, unless you swallow it, you've got to be the one that takes the action to help yourself. If you don't know what action to take, that's where we come in. That's where people like Dave and I and other incredible fitness professionals that are here to serve in this space can help you. We can help you shift the thinking that's required, that drives you, that wants to pull you to make better decisions. And Dave, you talk about your experience in this space as well, when you were getting regular training, when you knew that you were about to have a challenge similar to what Peter shared. You look like Elvis before he's about to die, and you probably felt like trash. So you went to a personal trainer. At the end of the day, those people can only facilitate you. Your personal trainer could only facilitate you, Dave. You were the one that had to do the thing. And what was the thing? And you've shared this with me before, and I think this is super key. And also what we do with business and circle leadership, we don't do the things for people. We help guide and shift and align the thinking that's going to get the people to take the right action to get the results that they want to and experience this feeling of success. And it's the same with your body. It's the same with personal training. What did your personal trainer do that was of most value for you in that space, Dave?
He worked on my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And he cared about me as a human being, but he actually was more working on how I think about things rather than the things I was thinking about.
Yep. so that you were better equipped. You had more capacity to actually access the help at the end of your own arm and do the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was, shout out to Dale. Dale Nelson, if you're watching, brother, I'm here because of you. Thank you. I'm here because of me too.
Also a shout out to anybody that has had a fitness professional with them along a journey. That's a really, really intimate space. The fitness professionals that are out there, I know for me, like, again, we'll talk about where this all started. Phil Henderson, this is where this started for me with Phil over 15 years ago. And it's an intimate space that you create with people. You show up in vulnerability. You share with people about things that you wouldn't even tell your nearest and dearest and your closest. Like that's a really special relationship when you've got people helping you and they're on the inner sanctum, they're in your sphere. They're helping you be the better version of you so that you can show up to the rest of the world, so that you can show up and be all of who you are at your greatest capacity in your world and what matters most by first creating more space in your being to do that.
Yeah, that's so powerful. I know we're running close to time, so here comes the favorite part. I've been waiting to ask you this because I was trying to convince my wife of this as I was saying goodbye to her last night at the airport, is how come kissing is so important? Oh, sorry. Important for
How come kissing is so important? Oh my gosh. Kissing yourself actually is the most important thing. Like just, get the little, yeah, I love you too.
Oh,
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Man, I went to the gym while we were in Melbourne and I was like, man, it is flex fest in here. I came back dry reaching and Dave was like, what's wrong? I was like, I went to the gym and there were people peacocking and it shits me off. Anyway, so let's not talk about that. But
that's kissing, okay.
Why is kissing so important, and kissing yourself, again, literally and proverbially? But here's the thing. Life is complicated. Business is complicated. And I know it wouldn't happen to any of the people that are watching this in their businesses, but in some businesses around the world, people are annoying. They have staff, right? And there's this little thing called stress. And stress can feel complicated, like an absolute cluster. But I know no one that's watching this would ever feel like that. I know that to be true, but it does happen out there. I know. I feel for these people as well. This is why kissing is so important, because we keep it super simple. I know that as human beings, we evolve and we adapt and we are changing to our environments as they continue to shift and evolve themselves. It's the survival of the fittest isn't the strongest and the leanest. It's the one that's able to adapt. So I know that we are adapting as human beings, but at the end of the day, we still have the same physiological, musculoskeletal, cardiovascular system that we always have. A netball coach of mine said to us once, we threw together a seniors netball team just for funsies, and we got our old netball coach and our old manager and all of our old people together, and then all of us had been playing netball for 15, 20 years by that point. And we kind of all come out of retirement, and Sue had us throwing and catching balls for 6 weeks. And we're like, Sue, when do we actually get to do some things? Like, this is Netta. We've been doing this for 20 years. And she said, Lisa, if we quit moving away from the basics, we don't have to keep going back to them.
Correct.
And when we're not getting results and when we're getting so far away from everything, what do? We go back to basics. We revisit the fundamentals. And it's the same with our body.
And what about fundamentals? What's the main thing about fundamentals?
The main thing about fundamentals is they're not fun. They're just dementals. But if you don't do dementals, you're going to go demental.
That's right.
I just enriched and up-leveled your Clairism. Right. So, and it's the same here. Everything in life is so bloody complicated. And I want to apologize on behalf of the fitness profession. We have made a multi-trillion-dollar industry about making this seem like it's so hard that it doesn't really have to be. What if keeping it super simple? What if kissing ourselves? What if just 1%? I'm in the process of listening to James Clear's Atomic Habits again. The tiny little 1% stuff. What if you drank? What if you just breathed one more time today? What if you took a deeper breath that was just a little bit bigger? Dave alluded to before about anxiety. Anxiety happens, and where do you feel it in your body? I feel it in my chest. And so if I'm breathing, I'm expanding the space around my chest. How good's that? What if we breathe a bit more? No one teach? Well, people are starting to turn breathing into a commodity now as well with all of this breathwork stuff, and it can be powerful. But no one talks about breathing because it's free. It's free. What if we drank more water? How much water? How much water should you drink in a day, Dave?
I drink 4 liters, minimum 3, usually 4 liters a day.
Is that the best for me?
I don't know.
How do we know?
How am I supposed to know? That's just what's best for me.
If I ran a marathon here in Emerald in Queensland, am I going to need more water today than tomorrow if I didn't?
Probably.
So could the amount of water that I need as a day change as well? And is it possible that if we just look to see what colour our wees were, that might actually give us a really good indicator? And could it be that simple? Could that be keeping it super simple? What if we ate more food out of the ground? Would that mean that we could have more cake for breakfast? What if we moved our bodies more? Right now, I wish you could see my setup. I'm standing. It's not fancy, but I'm standing. What if we actually moved more? Oh, but I need to run for 45 minutes. Otherwise, it's not worth it. I need to go and weight train and do all of these things in order for it to be effective. What if you just moved a little bit more? And to your point as well before, Dave, the sleep piece. If you're doing all of these things, if your capacity is so squeezed, when we actually have a sleep, it kind of gives our being a little bit of room to evolve into and increase that space in ourselves so that we can show up and do all of the things in the world, but we leave ourselves behind when really, essentially, at the end of the day, we're the reason why we're doing things. Because what do we all want? Happiness. And we only ever want the things in life that we do because we feel like we're going to feel better in the having of them.
Yeah. Absolutely, because that's the goal, actually, is the having of them, not the having of it. So I'm going to, conscious of time, as typically you and I, no matter who's live streaming whatever, we're very passionate about our subject matter. So last thing I want to ask you, the last question, and if you can give us a punchy answer to this. So we've done the keep it simple, silly people, keep it simple.
Keep it super simple, because we want to keep it super positive as well.
Super simple. Mental health and wellness is the other side of physical health coin. We simply do not know the journey of others. 100%. My body was most definitely affected by stress and anxiety, and it showed up physically. Again, thanks. Yes, so much so.
Brother.
Like that, like the anxiety, which can lead to poor health, and poor health can lead to anxiety, to the mental health. It's all like, and I love the fact you've called it the other side of the coin, Pete, because it is two sides of the same coin, or two wings of the same bird.
Absolutely.
So it's so important that people understand that. And once again, thank you so much for sharing that, Pete, because your story is an example to others that can inspire just one other person, much like Lisa's. And I always tell people about my heart condition and how it impacted my life. Last thing though, the 3 P's for the productivity, performance, and pleasure.
Yeah. And we just covered them just before, and I'll roll into them again in a sec. But also
boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. 3 P's for productivity, performance, and pleasure.
Yep.
P's, poos, and puffs.
P's, poos, and puffs.
Yep.
Okay. And puffs being breathing?
Well,
or is it the other end?
Maybe you'll have to come to the Business Evolution Summit on the Gold Coast in August to find out.
Yeah, because I'm hoping it's not flatulence we're referring to.
No. Peas, poos, and puffs.
Okay.
And that speaks back to that breath piece about if we actually were conscious about the breaths that we were taking, but also if we moved our body in a way that increased our respiration rate, how much more oxygen might we get in our body floating around our system and to our brain that helps us make better decisions in business, in life, for ourselves.
Very, very powerful. So if people want to learn more about all this, not being the richest person in the graveyard, about how to be fit, healthy, and strong for a lifetime and still have cake for breakfast, metaphorically saying, do all the good things and you can still enjoy all the other great things in life, right? At the Business Evolution Summit on the Gold Coast, August 24th to 26th.
Yep.
Just give us one last nugget to leave everybody with. One big last zinger. What is it, if you could leave them with one message out of all that stuff you shared today? What's
the piece about being not being the richest person in the graveyard? People can turn around and say, I'm not broke. People can turn around and say, I've got all of the money in the world and I'm successful on paper.
Yeah.
But what's the point if you don't look after yourself, even if you don't value health, even if you don't give a shit? What's the point of all of it if you're not here to experience it? And is there a way, and is there some small fundamental things that we can kiss to ensure that we get to have not only longevity, but our legacy is well served and the quality of our life doesn't suffer from things, just little stuff? I'm not saying have broccoli and air for breakfast. Absolutely not. And I'm a living, breathing example of how you don't have to.
Cancel the chicken and broccoli for dinner tonight.
Ugh. And I just also want to say, to Pete's point, we're going to wrap it up there.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, Dave, to wrap this up.
Sure.
How am I when I don't exercise in the morning?
Oh, my God. When you travel with someone on the road, you get to learn a lot about people. And it's quite funny when Lisa goes for a run, coffee magically shows up, which is also an added bonus. But yeah, like it's like you're on fire for the day. But the one morning you didn't go for a run, it was just like you were lethargic. You were, which is still probably ahead of most people's normal thing. But for you in your space, you were, the mind. But you were sort of a bit of a laggard in your thinking. That whole lethargicness. Yeah, it was. Let's put it this way: it was visible. It was noticeable. That I'm like, did you go for a run this morning? Like, no, I didn't. It was like, that explains it.
Yeah. These don't matter. They don't care. One run isn't going to affect that. And I didn't go for a long run. We were busy. We were doing stuff. We had people to serve. 20 minutes in and out. Coffee on the table. So, anyway. Oh, my gosh. I could go on about this for ages. So, Business Evolution Summit on the Gold Coast. We're going to get more into this. And then post that event, this is where we're going to be launching some more stuff in this space. So, we at Circle Leadership are all about strategy and cultural alignment. And we're going to enrich this so that we can feel and increase our capacity to be fit, healthy, and strong for a lifetime, so that we can show up for ourselves and for our people, so that we can be and live and lead and love the culture and the strategy that we've worked so hard to develop. So watch this space. It's going to get really excited. I'm pumped. Let's do the thing.
All right. So this is Lisa Uford, our head humicorn, the head and heart leadership coach of Circle Leadership. Lisa, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your experience and your insights with everybody, and really looking forward to the work you're going to be able to do with our clients on the Gold Coast, those who are joining us at that event. So if you want to learn more, please just jump on the comments on any of the live streams that have happened across all the platforms. And I'm sure Lisa, if you want any more information on what she shared with you, she will gladly give you any more information that's available. But other than that, thank you again, Lisa, for all the work you're doing in the world. It's awesome to have you as part of the team, but also knowing that you're there to kick my ass when I'm not doing the thing. So
thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to serve in this space.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And we'll tune in. I think Lisa and I will be live again as normal on Thursday. Maybe you might interview me. I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be a fun time. Have a terrific Tuesday. Bye. Yeah.